If you're into Jurassic Matchbox, you are going to find so much valuable information from these two guys, basically experts. We have Baptiste from Jurassic Bap on YouTube and David Tilley from the Lamley Group, but also from his Instagram page, David J. Tilley. Let's get into it. Hi, David, and hi, Bap.
Hello?
Hello.
Perfect. If I may, how did you guys started your Matchbox collection? Was it with on Jurassic? Was it with like Tycho back in 1997? Was it only with Mattel in like 2015? How did you start it?
Oh no, I've been going since I was a baby. I've been around since the 1970s, and it's always been a part of my life. So I've got models coming back from the 1970s, and I was 8 years old when I decided I only wanted Matchbox. So that was 1980. And so since then, it's only been Matchbox, and I've been trying to get as much as I can, basically.
Awesome.
But yeah, but recently it's really picked up another gear in about the last decade, when I've really been photographing my entire collection, so I knew exactly what I had, what I needed, and it's really intensified how I can actually start filling in all the gaps now.
Your page is Matchbox themed. I don't think I've seen your picture on your Instagram. So I
No,
definitely.
I always use Yoshi. It's just one of those daft things. I've always been a big fan of Yoshi, so I just use him as pictures on things. Also, the little minions as well. I've got minions. My WhatsApp picture is a minion because there's actually a minion called Dave, so it's a little minion Dave.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. You need to find Stuart and Bob now.
so there's almost a crossover because of the Mario Kart Hot Wheels. But
Yeah,
do you do anything with Hot Wheels, or is that like enemy
nope,
territory?
no, just Matchbox.
So until they give the license to Matchbox and then they make something Mario themed.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
It's funny because actually, so I'm working for Mattel in France, but it's very different. And I'm pro Matchbox since day one. And the brand was not
Yeah.
sold in France by Mattel for years. And when I arrived, I was like, we need to do Matchbox because it's better than Hot Wheels. They were like, what are you saying? I was like, no, I insist. I prefer Matchbox.
Oh yes.
And to be honest, I even tried to modify a Ford Explorer to cut the roof completely. So I used the Dremel, and I mean, I wanted to be very precise and not damage the paint on the car and everything. Like I was surprised about how many minutes it took me with a Dremel just to cut the roof, and I was like, wow, how can this be even possible? Like, it's like it's like a stone or a diamond, I don't know, but like it was quite tricky. And yeah, I'm thrilled because I mean, it's cars. If you drop them on the floor, you won't have paint chips all the place. So yeah, I'm really fond of Matchbox as well.
Have you noticed a shift in the last few years of the models getting better and more interest in Matchbox?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I always keep saying it ebbs and flows, the range. Sometimes you get some really good eras where they're getting a lot of good stuff. Then it teeters off into a direction that people are like, not so good. And then it sort of comes back. It always seems to come back to the core of what Matchbox is, which is realism, proper vehicles, stuff you see on the street, stuff that your parents might own. And that's one of the things I always like about them. And at the moment, they're in a very good place.
So basically, I didn't start buying diecast at all until the first day I walked into a Target store and I saw the Explorer and the Jeep there for $1. And at that point, I just bought those ones and I thought, okay, I'll just buy the ones I remember from the films. So I eventually I got like the Mercedes and maybe a Hummer, and that was before Fallen Kingdom even came out. And it wasn't until after I saw the movie that I realized no, like the whole line, all of those cars are in the movies. So eventually, over time, and after researching and going down the path of finding your guys' content online, that I end up wanting them all because really, as like an adult collector who really wasn't buying diecast before 2018, what I really wanted was the vehicles from the movies. And if they had ever done that in the 90s, I probably would have been into them. I mean, they did for the Lost World, but as far as having a Jeep and an Explorer, because they never existed and the public was like withheld from having them, when they did hit in 2018, and especially like in my case, it was a surprise, that like wish was granted and their minds were probably blown, you know?
Uh,
Yeah. It's true that I think it's very recent with like the geek community is like much appreciated now, and they're realizing we can make toys from old movies and they will sell. And I think it's some kind of revolution in the toy industry because I like people will like that. Yes, people are waiting for the 20 years to get the cars. And honestly, it's the same. I've been collecting the Tyco range from 1997 as a kid. Of course, I could never find the awesome Mercedes Benz, so I had the capture trucks. But so I discovered the new range of fully in metal office, and so I was like really freaking out because it was like the global presentation internally. So we didn't know what to expect. So they were like, you see the dinosaur in the scope, and I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. And then it switched to Matchbox, and I see the Explorer. Like I've been dreaming of this car for years. And basically, my fascination for these vehicles started because I couldn't get any decent miniature. So I used to buy majorette and paint them, but like it was so cheap. And so when I saw them on the screen, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Explorer, Jeep, G-Wagon. I was like, okay, oh my god, I'm thrilled. And at that moment I said, okay, I'm going to fight to have them in France because I just entered the company a few months before that. And clearly, yeah, when I saw the full range, the accuracy, I was like it's amazing. Like for 20 years we had nothing, like about 20 different cars, maybe between RC model kits and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you end up with like 20, 30 vehicles from the films that are really decent with the right logos, which is sometimes hard to get. So yeah, it's like I still can't believe it, and that's why I've got them. This is supposed to be my home office, so I've got them here. I have my bed next room with another display with Matchbox. I have my collection rooms where I made a small park with them. So just I can't get enough. I just can't realize this is real. Like it's awesome. A basic thing, like what's your favorite Jurassic Park vehicle? Like why, when did you discover it? What did you think? And
Just to think for a minute about how I felt actually when I was 10 and I watched Jurassic Park and I saw the Jeep and the Explorer for the first time, it kind of makes you recognize like, oh no, wait, it wasn't just because it was a cool car and it had a cool paint job, but like the movies showed off the vehicles in a really amazing way. Like Spielberg gave us a tour of the Explorer as the characters were introduced to them. Lex is like playing with the touch screen inside the car, inside the Explorer. And then like obviously later in the movie, probably the two most exciting scenes in the whole movie are when the kids are attacked in the Explorer by the T-Rex, and then when the T-Rex chases them down while they're in the Jeep. So the vehicles were really like stars of the movie, I think, and it's bigger than you think, like on the surface.
Particularly the Explorer. I mean, that's one of the first things you always think of, isn't it? As soon as you think of Jurassic World, think of a vehicle, the Explorer. It's the first one most people will go to. I've actually got a pair of them that sit at work with me, one of each, the 4 and the 5, because they were just spares I picked up of them. They were duplicates, so they're now sitting at work. Keep me company when I'm working.
same.
And so, I was very happy when you saw the actual Explorers, particularly the damaged ones. I did not think they would do a damaged one as a miniature. And the fact that they even created it with the wheels that are wonky. So if you put it on a flat surface, it actually wobbles because it's not straight. But I just think it's brilliant. And you can balance it on the front end, just like it came out the tree. I just think that's brilliant. All the little attention to details they did on these. It was just awesome.
So I think we globally have an Explorer team, even if I really love the G550. But yeah, the Explorer, like the design, the stripes, and as a kid, I was trying to draw it because in France, you don't see that type of vehicles, especially like 20, 30 years ago. And I was like putting papers on the TV screen to just trying to draw it. And I was asking my dad, what is this car? What is this car? And he was like, I think it's some kind of Matra Ren show, and I was like, I don't know, okay, maybe. And I was like, it's written something like Explorer behind, and I spent years like hunting for this car. And as you say, like having it in miniature after years of trying to make it, I was like so thrilled. And same thing, like Mattel, a year after, I saw the presentation for the new line and saw the Battle Damage Explorer. And I was like, okay, you're telling me they are releasing a broken vehicle, but new? I was like, okay, this is very interesting. The roof is broken. Okay, okay. And as you said, the wobbly wheels and the fact they can like stand up, it's like, I was like, okay, it's amazing. And I wasn't sure at some point we were really going to do it because I was like, it's not possible. It's so awesome. Like, I don't think any company released a destroyed vehicle before. Like now with Hot Wheels, they have like with monster trucks, real diecast, but which are like broken. But like this was some kind of premiere, and yeah, the Explorer is so iconic with the stripes and the John Bell design. I love it. But for years you could find an Ecto 1, you could find a DeLorean, but you could never find a Jurassic vehicle, and it was very frustrating. For many years we couldn't only find Jeeps. I guess they are very rights friendly, but you're like, okay, a Jeep, another Jeep, another Jeep. Okay, it's cool. I won't criticize, but where's the Explorer? Where's the Mercedes Benz from the Lost World and Jurassic World? I can remember in 2014 when we saw the first like leaked pictures of the cars being shipped to Hawaii, and we saw the Jeep 29 Rusty, we saw the G63 with the 6 wheels, and I will always remember when we saw the Textron, you had a picture like in some kind of garage or something like that, and behind it you could see only the front headlights of the G-Wagon, but the regular version, which, by the way, is my favorite car way before it was in Jurassic World. So when I saw it, I freaked out like, oh my God, there's a 6x6, but there's the regular version as well. And yeah, I got crazy at that moment. But the Textron was really an original vehicle. And I think it's one of the strengths of the new Jurassic movies that introduce us to vehicles we're not really used to see in movies like UTVs, 6x6, armored cars. It's very recent to see them in movies. So yeah, the Textron was really a nice addition.
And I really like that model too, especially the flat green one.
Yeah, me too. Big fan of the Textron.
Even the Lost World, the scene with the RV when they're being rescued by Eddie, like that maybe was like the most important scene in the movie. And it was all because of the vehicles, not just the RV, but also the way he used the Mercedes basically to save them all. Like, and then get sacrificed by get eaten by the T-Rexes, you know.
If you think about it, in the movie you have 3 versions of that car that you can see, and they released 2 versions. The one we only see at the beginning of the film, the one that Eddie drives, but there's the main other one, the one that is thrown from the cliff at first, which has like side boxes at the back. This one is not made by Matchbox, so they have to give us this third version.
Yeah. Which ones are the names? Fontana, Montana, and Santana, weren't they?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I only know that because I read your blog about it.
Yeah. And it's like they've got 2. They must do the third one at some point. Hopefully, with the next film, they'll pop in the third one as an additional.
Regarding the movies that were already released, in your opinion, guys, what's missing for you in terms of vehicles we've seen on screen that Matchbox isn't making?
Well, apart from the third Mercedes, I've always wanted to see, the Pontiac that was in the second film, the red convertible. I just think that would be such a cool little model just to add in there. And when the T-Rex first came out and you sort of drove up and then reversed backwards. That's like, they should make that one.
They could make that bus from San Diego that the front end crunched in when the T-Rex hit it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, or the Chrysler Town and Country from the last film that he dropped outside the mansion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I couldn't wait on my end, so I had a friend, Nathan Gasowitz, helping me. So here you can see I've got like a Unimog mobile veterinary unit, and it's actually a modification from the Unimog the Matchbox made. So I think to me this one is really iconic, and the 2015 version that Matchbox released, which was an existing model but with the deco of the MVU. I mean, it's nice, but they really should give us the real one from the film. I think this one is really missing to me.
Yeah, I think they were looking at doing that one. They just haven't made it yet. So hopefully it will still come out.
I think one omission I think is with the Explorers 4 and 5. 4 is always dirty and crushed, but we don't have a clean 4, right?
Yeah,
I think that would be good. And likewise, they could make a dirty 5, I guess, but
or they could make the number 5, but with the right side logo, with the T-Rex on the front door on the right side. I would really love that.
and the Jeeps in the opposite way as well, because we had a Jeep 29 muddy, but we don't have a clean one.
Yep.
I'd like to see that one as well.
It's like the RV in the bright green color from 2019 has mud as well, and the InGen Jeep as well. So if anyone from like the Matchbox design team sees that video, we could use some unmuddy vehicles.
And I'd also like to see, has anybody ever seen the Camp Cretaceous TV series?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see that Mercedes 6x6 done as well. I don't know why.
Absolutely, yeah.
That one.
You have a custom of that, Bap, don't you?
Yes, I do. So I can go grab it if you want.
Maybe because they did a G-Class as well in that TV series, didn't they?
Yeah, it's some kind of weird G-Wagon modified. So let me just grab it.
Oh,
okay. So here's my version of the Camp Cretaceous. So I basically just saw the other metallic part here, the like bar that was there, and added the logos.
Yeah.
So it's an easy modification that Matchbox could really do.
Yeah,
and I managed to grab another custom Unimog. So you see just these parts.
Yeah.
And it looks so cool. Like, I mean, they have to do it.
Oh yeah, they must do.
If Matchbox would make a small wave of premium vehicles, like even if it was something like the super fast wave, where they would give you like a $5 car instead of a $1 car, but with like perfect paint jobs.
There's like a collector series in Matchbox, and this year they're releasing like a gold G-Wagon G50 550, and clearly I think Explorer, the Jeep, the Mercedes from the Lost World, from Jurassic World, this could make a very nice batch, and I think people would get them. I mean, you don't have really risks with these vehicles.
I think they'd sell, definitely, if they did the collector series and included some Jurassic in there. The fact that they did a Jeep series for Walmart last year and they added in a Jurassic model.
Exactly. The only way to get the Jeep 10 unmuddy.
Yeah, it was to get the Walmart Jeep set one. So throw them in a few other random sets, and I think they would do well, particularly as a premium. I would definitely go for it.
They actually made the Jeep 18 in the regular assortment as well last year, I think.
Yeah, I did one of them to the basics, and they did a 5-pack as well. But they'll all just carry forwards, as they call them.
But always the Jeep, we need this one here.
No, it's just something they just added in, just to, I believe it was something just to keep the license going.
But
so the films got delayed, so things get moved to next year. Not a problem. But I'm really hoping, because they've already announced that they're continuing on with stuff. I'm hoping we're going to see some convoy, because you see some lovely pictures, sort of like there's an international truck with the low bed with a dinosaur on the back of it. And I think, just imagine if they actually did that as a model. And you think, they could do that, and they could do a box truck as well, and just have the Jurassic World logo on the side, and just a Vic on the front, and just add in because they've been adding in a single as an addition. You just think, could have a couple of convoys with Jurassic World themes to them. I think it'd be brilliant.
So I hope they will maybe, as you said, do some more like realistic trucks and everything. I mean, I don't know how much you've seen on the website, on the socials about the new movie. But clearly it seems we have some nice jeeps on the way in the film. So
Uh,
I really hope Matchbox will be just like, I mean, everyone loves jeeps. I think so far this is like accepted by everyone. So I really hope we'll see the both version we've seen kind of leaked on the socials, because they are really, really dope.
because I mean, I was so looking forward to getting all the new stuff this year, and then it's all been pushed back to next year, and I'm like, oh, got another year to wait now.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
frustration.
Uh, I I haven't seen any trailers for the movie, but I have looked at some of the pictures of stills of the vehicles coming for the new film, and I think some nice ones here, particularly the Jeeps. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see them making a lot of these vehicles. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to look great as a Matchbox. Oh, that one's going to look good as a Matchbox.
exactly. We think the same.
So we have another year, I guess, as of in hiatus, sort of, for the collectors to kind of get caught up and try to
Yeah.
hunt down all the ones they missed, and then have a reset for next year when they come out. Yeah, it'll be very exciting when things get released and we can all be sharing everything.
Clearly.
Uh,
Well, thank you for like reuniting us and talking about that. It was a brilliant idea. So always nice to be talking with people who share the same madness from Jurassic Matchbox. So thank you very much for that.
yeah, it is good. I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd for these things, and it's nice to know I'm not the only one.
Thank you guys so much. Unfortunately, there's just too much to cram into one video, so we're going to split it up into parts. If you'd like, there's going to be another link for a video right here, and you can watch the rest of our interview with David Tilley and Jurassic Bap. Thank you so much. Enjoy the next video.